it's Gigi. Vanderpump Rules. Oh Lord. I'm back watching them again. So they start off with the boys, the basketball pickup game. They're kind of discussing the rage that Lala showed them last night, judging Brock and his prior domestic. Oh, I don't know if I can say that. DV basically with his ex-wife. Given, if you saw Watch What Happens Live last week, he talked about he was young, he made a lot of mistakes. I still think there's a lot to this story. I mean, there's two sides to the story, and then there's the truth. He said he was young, he made mistakes, which people do make mistakes when they're young. I mean, doesn't mean because he did it once, he will do it again, but just something for Sheena to watch out for. But Tom Sandoval, he never holds his tongue. He makes a good point. He's like, well, I hear stuff about Randall, so if I bring that up, oh, we're not allowed to bring that up because Lala will flip the hell out. So, and in light of all that and what's going on with Lala right now with her and Randall, karma is a B, but hey, here we are. Then we get to Charlie and Ariana. Charlie's in a new relationship. She's super excited about it. They kind of discuss it. Ariana gives her some advice. Nothing really was happening there. Then this crazy nose job story from Raquel. I'm like, girl, did he hit you or did he not hit you? Because your story is not helping him. Because one, no one asked you if James came with an aggressive kiss and shifted your nose. You gave that information to us and now it looks like he hit you and you're doing a cover up. Which is like, what are you talking about, Raquel? I don't know. Maybe it's for a storyline, but I wouldn't want to be the person that is accused of assaulting another person's storyline. Like, that's not what I want to do in my life. But she calls Dr. Nassif. I was so happy to see him again to kind of get consultation. And he kind of tells her, like, girl, my price is Hollywood price, so be ready to pay. And Lisa is okay with that, obviously. But Lisa, too, was looking at Raquel's side at, like, girl, were you assaulted or were you not assaulted? It was weird. It was really weird. Then Katie has the girls over, Ariana and Lala. And Lala comes in saying, oh, the door is fixed. Apparently, Tom broke his own door. I guess their relationship is still as toxic as ever. Then Ariana comes and immediately sits down. Lala is like going and talking about, basically she wants her to check her boyfriend. I guess they're not husband and wife yet. Tom Sandoval. I'm like, that's her man. They've been together for almost a decade. Like, girl, she's not about to go against her man. And at the end, she's like, well, if you're not going to talk to him, I'll talk to him. And Ariana is like, go ahead, girl. Do you. Like, and Ariana tries to spin it like, oh, he yells at women. I'm like, Tom is the most emotional, like, gender accepting, gender fluid kind of guy. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and if he's mad at you, there's no mixing of his intents at all. It's not about him yelling at women. So that was kind of like low blow. Brock and Shayna show up to help Curry and Charlie hang a TV. Of course, they start messing with Shayna, talking about, I know I have to do it under 7 minutes because that's what makes me a man. And Shayna is like, well, Brock does a whole bunch of magnificent things in less than 7 minutes. But they end up doing it in less than 6 minutes, which beats Shayna's man code or man degree censor. I'm like, girl, bye. But it was funny, though, that they could joke about it. Apparently, she dated Jesse Metcalf as well, which she kind of name drops. And we find out Charlie also moved to Shayna's neighborhood, which is in San Diego. So I don't even know how they're shooting because San Diego to LA is quite far in it. But anyways, we find that out. And Charlie is apparently having a culinary thing going on, which she was going to invite everybody for. But since Lala went ballistic the night before, or last episode, she was like, she's not going to invite her, which I don't blame her. Nobody needs that. Lala acts like she's above these people. That's what she acts like. She's like, I could dish it out, but don't try me. Don't say anything about me. I'm Miss Perfect, which everybody knows you're not perfect. You even say you slept with Randall for money. Like, girl, you are a high-end, you know what. But it's all good. Get your money any way you can. Then we get to Dr. Nassif's office for the nose job consultation. James is there. He's like, man, I'm supposed to start my see you next Tuesday thing back again at third today. Like, this is really bad timing. And Raquel is like looking, they're acting so weird, which James has never been reported to be someone that, put hands on women. So I don't even know why they try to like insinuate that. Like, that's not a storyline anyone should try to develop. But anyways, Lisa gets in. Lisa is like, I hope you all are not lying to me. Like, she's looking at it like, is there a backstory? Because The way Raquel presented it, the way James is looking, they all look like super nervous, like they're lying or something. So I'm like, y'all are silly. Nassif does the inspection and declares the nose was not shifted by an aggressive kiss, which will be really weird for your whole septum to move because someone gives you a kiss. Like, girl. Anyway, he says it's most likely from the surgery, so he tells her that she can't do surgery because she just had the nose job, so she has to wait another extra month before he could do it. So I guess Lisa is paying for this, so I don't know who's paying for this, but the nose looked good to me, but what do I know? I don't know. See you next Tuesday is back. But we could tell like the restaurant is definitely not full capacity, but I reckon by now it should be because COVID restrictions are way, way down. We're seeing less cases, at least in the hospital I work in Texas. We're seeing less cases, and I think around the world, I think I could say that really. So Tom talks about he did mushrooms. I've never done mushrooms, so I am curious. However, then Shayna kind of reminisces of her time working at Sir and her dancing on the tables, just like when she was younger. We all do that. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Randall is there. He apologizes to Lisa for missing the dinner from hell where his wife went ballistic. Lala is just annoying. She's like, let me go talk to Tom before he gets more resentful or gets more angry. I'm like, girl. But I'm over her though. Charlie thanks Sandoval and Ariana for allowing her use their house for her culinary thing that she has planned. It sounds like a potluck because she's like, people bring this and bring that, and I hate potlucks, but there'll be tequila, and I love tequila, so win-win. So Lala finally comes over to Sandoval to speak to him and starts off with like, I don't expect you to apologize or something about apology, and I'm like, you want him to apologize or you don't want him to apologize? And she's talking about like, what did I do to you? Why do you kind of asking him like, why do you come for me? And Tom is that person, as annoying as it is, he calls people out all the time if he doesn't agree. Like whether you're his friend or not, he will call you out. So Tom is talking about, well, you want us to respect your boundaries with Randall, but then you didn't respect Shayna and Brooks boundaries by bringing up the DV that Brock had in the past, which is fair. Like if you bring up stuff, then we could bring up stuff about Randall that is not very pleasing. I'm sure they could dig up a lot of stuff. And she's like, no, you guys called me a night walker and I've been called this. And again, she doesn't get it because it's not about you. Like you coming for Shayna will be different. You're coming for her partner, which is way, way worse. But she doesn't get it. And she's like, I feel iced out. And Tommy's like, girl, you're icing yourself out. And she's like, I deserve forgiveness. I'm like, you deserve forgiveness. But she didn't even ask for forgiveness. She didn't apologize for anything she did. And she's like, we all have to do better. Lala, go to bed. Like, girl, bye. It's the day of Charlie's potluck. And she arrives without food or drink. So I'm like confused. Like, are you hosting this or not? So everybody else comes with their food. Sheena is advertising. I've forgotten the Mexican food, she tamales or something that she makes that she's excited for everybody to try. But I was like, I hope she gave Sandoval and Ariana some money to buy something, because how is this your whole gig and you don't bring anything? Like that was weird. Then Lala goes to Villa Rosa. Villa Rosa is just so gorgeous. Like those are my dreams. And so Lala is talking about how Randall are kind of saying that they're planning their wedding next year, which will be, I guess, 2022. And Lisa and Ken are like, what? Next year? And Lala is like, well, I told in her confession, she's like, I told him he doesn't need to get married to me, which is like BS because, girl, you were with him for money. Marrying him will secure that you get half or a third or whatever the agreement you guys land on. Like, stop it. But she has a kid, I guess, so she could get, child support. Then she starts talking about. No, Lisa does a cheers, which confuses me because it was very new money. She's like, cheers with your Baccarat glass. Those are the same glasses that Kathy Hilton had in her house. But Kathy was not uncouth because she didn't bring it up. It was someone else bringing up that, oh, are these Baccarat glasses and everything. So I was like, Lisa did that? Like, that was like, that was like new money. So Charlie tries different food she's never tried. Apparently, all she eats is like pasta and like pizza or something. I'm like, girl, stop freaking out. She tried sushi for the first time. She liked it. She didn't like the enchilada, Shayna made, which she was like, don't tell her, but nobody really cared. Tom and Katie still seem disconnected because Tom is going on a business meeting. Katie asked to join. And it's almost like Tom didn't want her to come, but he couldn't say because Tom Schwartz is like the super most polite person ever. But she invites herself and she is going. Then Shayna and Katie start talking about everything that happened with the whole Lala thing. And Katie's like, did you guys get a chance to talk? Shayna is like, no, we didn't talk, but I didn't feel like I needed to talk to her, which I don't blame her. Like, who wants to talk to someone that is like popping off the mouth for no freaking reason? Then we go back. Lala is still at Lisa's house and she's talking about, oh, I feel very misunderstood. I feel the group doesn't understand who I am. That she's sad because she's actually a better person. I'm like, how conceited can one person be? But she said it. She was very serious about it. Brock and Shayna leave, then they start playing a game. I guess initially it was like naming first ladies, then never have I ever. They were just playing regular drinking games, which is like, nothing. But James is on the side like getting frustrated and eventually I guess Rachel starts getting, she's drunk too also, so that's part of it. So Rachel is acting real goofy and next she starts crying about her nose, talking about, oh, the deviated septum, and everyone is like, we can't even notice it, like, girl. And then she's like, I think it's so obvious. I'm like, so you're crying that they don't notice the problem that you notice? But I guess self-image is like self-image, basically. So it's what you see, it's not what people see. Then James starts going in on her, talking about, this is affecting me. I have to stare at it. It's stressful. I'm like, what is stressful, sir? But anyways, I was like, Ariana definitely comes for him. Like, how is that stressful? Like, the girl is freaking out about her nose and you're saying it's stress. Apparently he was against her getting a nose job because we see in the preview for next week that he's talking about, well, what if he becomes Spotch? Like, what are you gonna do? So James is super laser focused on this game, like, I guess because he's sober, but it's kind of annoying because then he starts belittling Raquel. I called her Rachel, didn't I? Raquel, sorry. He starts belittling Raquel, calling her stupid, saying she can't even get one answer right. I'm like, bro, if you can't take not drinking and having fun, then don't be where people are drinking and having fun. Like, he was so nasty. I'm like, Raquel, you could do better. You're young, you're beautiful, your life has just begun. Don't get tied in this nonsense. Like, don't do it, girl. And everybody is like looking like, bro, you just made the fun night awkward. And he's like, did I go too far? Did I? I'm like, yes, sir. The answer is yes. You went too far. But anyway, that's my review for Vanderpump Rules. Like, subscribe, comment, tell me what you want me to review next. Thank you.